Hello, I'm Vivek Atray and you're watching the Good Vibes Show. This is episode 3 and today I have some friends who are special guests, Dr. Harinder Kumar Bali and Dr. Raman Abrol. Good to see you, gentlemen.
Hi, my pleasure.
Lovely to have them. And in fact, what we're going to do today is to talk about various things. And these things are going to be health related, sports related, music related, poetry related, and life related.
Absolutely.
Right? So let's start with the conversation. And Dr. Harinder Kumar Bali, you are an interventional cardiologist of eminence. I know you through family reasons as well, and so renowned in this region. But I know you have multi-dimensional interests, which we'll come to later. Tell us about your medical journey first.
See, I must say that I started as a reluctant doctor and joined Medical College Jammu, which was way back. And after doing my graduation, I came to PGI. And that was a great moment in my life because PGI is the most eminent institute in the country. And it did wonders to my confidence on multiple reasons than one. One is that coming from a small town, Jammu, I could interact with people from everywhere in the country. And I came to know that I was as good, if not better than anybody else. So that did a great amount of gave me a great amount of confidence. And subsequently, the department I joined was one of the best in the country. And we had people from that institute working everywhere in the world. And that was the beginning. And that was one great thing which happened. The other great thing happened is, initially I wanted to be a surgeon. And but when I joined PGI, those were the days when you could choose your specialty. So I was in that rank where I could choose either medicine or surgery. So I was very keen to join surgery. But when I was going down to tell my specialty to the director PGI at the time of selection, somebody whispered in my ears that in PGI you will become MD surgery, not an MS surgery.
Okay.
So that put me a little back because I didn't want to be a physician. So having heard that medicine department of PGI is very good, so at that last moment I changed my mind to become a physician.
Uh-huh.
As good luck would have it, when I became physician, physician is, a little laid back. And you have to plan things and you have to wait for result of your medicine to take place. And that is the idea I had in my mind. And I, being a cricketer with my background, with an opening bowler and a batsman, I also always wanted to take the things by the scruff of the neck and get instant result, to see that what I am doing is making results, are producing results. So that happens only in surgery. But the good thing which happened was, when I joined cardiology, there was a significant improvement in the way we were treating patients in cardiology. There were no more we were treating only with medicine. So it becomes some sort of a surgical intervention. That is what initiated me into interventional cardiology. But in an indirect way, I was able to do everything which I wanted to do surgically initially. So that is the second one.
How does it feel when you save lives?
I would say that it feels humbling. There is a moment that you feel that you've done a great job at that time, but then you feel, I feel every time I humbled, and I feel that it could have gone either way. And I think it keeps you grounded. My specialty in particular keeps me very grounded, because you might do something, hundreds of procedures which have done extremely well, and you've saved lives, and people have been, had a cardiac arrest, and you've done a CPR and multiple cardiac arrest, and you save lives. That is okay. But occasionally you will find that there is something beyond medical science which we know, that it is not all predictable, or are not, you can't guarantee everything. And there is a lot more which is happening, which still we don't understand. So that is a humbling experience.
Absolutely.
So every time I save life, that is, I never say that I save life. Means we are contributing to saving a life. There are so many other forces which are acting to save a life, and the biggest is Almighty. And that is a very humbling experience.
That's beautifully said. And since we are all cricketers, and I'm coming to Raman, even the greatest of batsmen sometimes are out for a duck. So you never know. You have to praise the old Bradman also, last innings, 99.96 average instead of 100. We know about it. We have Dr. Raman Abrol, whose connection with Dr. Bali goes back to Jammu. And now we are in Chandigarh. All of us are reasonably well known in this area. When he mentions PGI, he means, of course, the Postgraduate Institute of India, which is in Chandigarh, one of the leading hospitals in the country. You too have been at PGI. Tell us about your own medical journey, Raman, and tell us how it evolved and where are you now?
Yeah, thank you for having me here. My journey also started from the same small town, Jammu, and sir is my senior and like a elder brother. Uh, I also had this in mind that I should be in a very good city and should be doing very well, because I was reasonably good in studies, and I had confidence that I would be able to do well somewhere if I get my specialty of my choice. So with the humble background and with the small town mentality, I also got into postgraduate institute and started my studying my started studying my specialty. And I didn't make any other choice, because I was very sure that I want to do this only because I was inspired by our teacher during MBBS, and I was very keen to do something like ear, nose, throat, that I am presently a specialist. So I entered PGI and then started getting interested, and more new things kept coming, and I got more and more interested over a period of 4 or 5 years when I was training. I could accomplish quite a few things, and I got very keenly into it, and that's how I became a ENT specialist. So the exciting part was that when I was in PGI, this specialty had just come in the world rather India. It was in the world 10-15 years before, but then in India it got popular somehow in those years only, late 90s. And I got a lot of interest in this area because I wanted to do something which is not done commonly. So this is how I planned my career, and I went for special training for endoscopic surgery in Switzerland, and I did a fellowship for about 3 months there from the father of endoscopic sinus surgery. And then I quit the job, quit the government job I was working there, and then I started my practice. And I was perhaps the only endoscopic surgeon at that point of time when I started my private work. So I introduced endoscopic sinus surgery in a very extensive way, because I was even doing endoneurosurgery. I was doing brain tumors through a nose endoscopically and all. So I came with full-fledged expertise of endoscopic sinus surgery. So that still remains my, super special interest.
So you see these two eminent doctors, they're talking about their medical career, but we're going to get them into something more interesting for the common man, even though professionally they're doing such service for the society. Now let's talk about some more good vibes. And these good vibes, of course, they need to be there in the medical field as well. When you see patients, if you are cheerful, then obviously the patient also feels a little more, drawn to the doctor, and perhaps he gets healed also. So do you think personality and attitude also matter, Dr. Bali?
Absolutely. I think it's the most important part. And the way you talk to the patient, the way your body language is, the way you convey it, everything is being watched by the patient, and they react to that. They are picking up small things about what you are saying or what you're not saying, reading in between the lines. So that is absolutely important. And in our intervention cardiology, the patient is awake and he's listening to everything. So my assistants, my technicians, my nurses, everything somebody speaks, he's listening to and reacting to that. So that is a great challenge. And I keep the atmosphere very, very light. We'll give you a couple of examples how we keep this atmosphere light. We have balloon mitral valve opening. That is a procedure where we non-surgically, through catheterization technique, open up the valve. Now, when we do that valve procedure, we have certain thing which is called as score of the mitral valve to see how successful the procedure is going to be. And that was the time I was doing a procedure, and my assistant was there. The assistant is in Cleveland Clinic now. And I was describing it, and we're talking about doing the procedure, and I asked, what is the score of this score? And everybody was so, concerned, absorbed. They just thought that it must be the mitral valve score. So that score is 8. I said, but I asked the score of India versus Sri Lanka, which was at that time Dravid and Ganguly were batting, and that was the one day going on. So, these sort of things lacks that atmosphere in that particular area. The other story I want to narrate is, I had a 90-year-old retired colonel, and something which has stayed with me about human nature and human behavior. Now, this 90-year-old gentleman, ex-colonel, his son was also a colonel, had a critical disease in his coronary artery. The main coronary artery, left main, was about 99, but there was hardly a blood flowing to his coronary artery. And we were doing the procedure, and he was in severe pain, and he was in agony. And he was saying, Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. And constantly it was because of his pain and pain he was having. He was in absolute distress. And all of us were a little tense. The moment I passed a guide wire and opened up the artery, just deployed the stent, his pain disappeared. And what I saw is, the one moment the pain was there and he was saying, why Guru, why Guru? The moment the pain disappeared, he became quiet. He was no more remembering why Guru. So that is, I thought, that is
Thankless.
So these things do happen in
Very interesting. Very interesting. So, Raman, in your medical practice, how does being a cricketer, which we're going to talk about later, and a singer and a golfer, how does it help you in your profession?
Actually, there is no direct connection in my profession, but see, it makes me a better individual actually to deal with. See, the treatment is not only medicine. In medicine, you are treating a patient not just with medicine. You are treating the patient with your talk, with your behavior, with your nature, with your interactions. So all this, I think, my extracurricular activity has added all these qualities in me as a physician, that the patient feels happy, they feels better, they feel better treated. So I think all these cricket has given me a lot of team discipline kind of a feeling, and being with different people together, enjoying together. So it gives a lot of qualities into you as a person. So when we are treating patients, all those qualities get displayed, and it gives brilliant outcomes. That's what I feel.
Absolutely. And tell us your journey from being a junior cricketer to a Ranji Trophy cricketer for Jammu Kashmir, and then now a golfer. So how's been your sporting journey?
Yeah, actually, cricket is national game, and everybody has played cricket in their life from childhood to adulthood. So we were also bitten by the bug, and being from a small town, we didn't have enough opportunities and wherewithal to pursue that well. But fortunately, with God's grace, I could get into the college team, and I could play into university, and I did very well. I scored good amount of runs, and I was picked by the state selectors, and I was in the camp, and then they said, okay, you are part of our team, Ranji. This is all during college days, during MBBS rather, actually. Right. So my high school and professional MBBS college, all this cricket went on, and it was a great feeling to be a doctor and a cricketer, and recognized also during that point of time, and it gave me a lot of prominence during my MBBS. And happily, I would share that when I came here, and I didn't play a lot because then the stress of MBBS was too much for me to, divert into anything else, because I was in my final MBBS and all those times. And most important is that cricket wasn't paying enough at that point of time, and it was a big, it used to dissuade all potential players because there was no career.
Yes.
There was no earning, and I know because my teammates who were there at that time for MPJ in Ranji team, only 2 or 3 were well settled. The rest all had shops and small things to do, and they had spoiled their career. So after playing and achieved something, I switched it off, and I came here and got selected, and then, but I continued playing cricket here also. If I don't know whether you know it or not, I was playing in club cricket. I doing professional club cricket in Chandigarh, and I had the highest record of 180 not out in 25 overs.
Wonderful.
In the city. I think probably, I don't know whether it is still.
25 was 180 is a total.
So I had about 10, 60, 25, 4 or something like that.
Wonderful.
So that was the record that I was, and due to those, my innings and all, I was invited by very many more clubs to play for them.
Obviously.
One of them was Mr. Kuldeep Bishnoi's club, which was very famous at that point of time, and he invited me. Then now you are playing in my team. So this is how I kept this cricket alive in me
And now golf?
till yeah. And then what happened that I injured my back, I injured my spine, and then I had to undergo some medical procedures, surgeries, and all. Then it was too strenuous for my body, so I then left cricket. But then it's a natural transition from cricket into golf. All cricketers, you must be knowing that all cricketers graduate into golf ultimately, because since we are not into competitive golfing, so it's a leisure sport for us, and it's natural.
Place for golf.
Chandigarh is a nursery for golfers, and the best city for golf players actually. So it was a natural transition. So I play golf very regularly now. So
I'll be
it's
back
a lovely.
to you for some more interests in your life, including music, and we'll request you to sing a couple of songs. So please be mentally prepared. But till then, we'll go to Dr. Bali with cricket, because although you are so eminent in your own professional field, we can keep on talking about that, including the honor of having the Bali's girdle named after you. And you are so eminent that we can go on and on and on. But let us take you to cricket now. We are part of a discussion group of cricket. We are part of many analysis of Indian cricket, international cricket. You have been to Lords. So tell us about your passion for cricket.
I think cricket is my first love. I would say everything.
Mine too.
Everything comes afterward. And when I talk about first love, it is not about the game we play. What we see today, it's only about winning, who's winning or not. But for me, cricket means what is being planned. How an off spinner or left arm Bishan Singh Bedi would lure a batsman ball after ball. He might be hit for 3/4, but how it lures him to get caught on the shot leg. That's what matters to me in cricket.
Strategy.
What matters to me is when a fast bowler is running down with his hair popping over all over the place on a December morning, the first over, and he smashed the scare cut and the cherry goes over the boundary. That is what cricket means to me. Cricket means to me that person is leaving 3 balls outside the off stump, and the 4th ball comes inside and takes an edge and goes back. That is what cricket means to me.
Right.
Or a fielder is saving 1 runs, putting everything he has which could be the crucial for a bat. So it is the small little things. For me, I believe that cricket is much more than a game. It's played in the mind. And you could be a very good, technically great batsman. We had Greenheek, and we even had a Brajesh Patel, our own batsman, who could be extraordinary, technically speaking. But if there is something which is required to plan every ball, because the war of attrition, it's a mind game. It's a way how you face up to the crowd. There are 60,000 people watching you, and the concentration you are able to maintain there, are you able to save the side batting out 30 overs after a tea? Right. That is what cricket means to me. And it goes back to my childhood. Because I have mentioned to you earlier also, my dad had a great library, huge library. And there used to be a magazine by the name of Sports and Pastime, which was a fortnightly magazine. It stopped in 1968. And my dad had kept every one of those magazines. And I went through those magazines very, very meticulously. And there would be articles by Neville Accordus, and there would be Jack Fengleton. And those were the articles which shaped my love and passion for cricket. Wonderful. So that is what it continues. So it's no more. I don't recognize 2020 games. 50 overs to a certain extent, yes. But I don't recognize 2020 as cricket, what we know cricket as. It's a game, all right.
Yes, cricket is the real thing.
Test cricket is the real thing.
How was Lords? Tell us about that.
Lords was absolutely wonderful. It's the back of cricket, and we have grown up learning about Lords. And the last time we heard was, Lords, we won the 1983 World Cup. So it was an absolutely fantastic memory for me. Go back there and walk down the long room there and see the memorabilia. I just saw the 1983 World Cup also there. And then the slope which is there in the ground, to watch it, what exactly it means, and their commentary box, and just sitting there and soaking the air of that place. I could go back and see how players in different era would have felt. You have a big list of who has scored centuries, and it was surprising to see that I didn't find Tendulkar there. So that is one thing which is missing from the crown of the great god of cricket. And so the entire, I spent about 5 hours there, and I would say that was one of the finest afternoon. It has left memories which will linger with me for life. So that is what cricket means.
I'll be back to you on cricket. There is so much love for cricket in this room that we could go on talking for 5 days on cricket. Test match पूरा यहीं पे खेल सकते हैं. But the good vibes are already developing in the show. We will have some music now, and Raman, we'll request you, because I know for a fact that you, being a doctor, are also a very avid singer, and that is why, in fact, let me be very clear with you gentlemen, both of you are multi-dimensional people, and that is why we are talking on the Good Vibe show.
Can I take a minute about Raman?
Yeah, take a minute about Raman.
I met Raman first time because he comes from my medical college. And being a avid cricketer that I was, we wanted to have a match between the ex-medical college team and the current medical college team, of which Raman was the captain. And so we went from Chandigarh and we organized that match there. And I went as the opener as usual, and we had an umpire who was an ex-person who was not current medical college person. He was a friend of mine. So I go there, and Raman's bowler was bowling in the
We're
first
talking
ball.
about Jammu.
We're talking about Jammu. And we had gone out from here, few players from here, and collected the ex-medical college team versus the present medical college. So I go there, bat with all the aura and taking the stance and everything, rigmarole I did. And in the first ball I come, I agit to the wicket keeper. Now there was stunned silence there. Now what do we do? And the umpire was also shocked. This person has come all the way planning for
And
this
sir
match
was
all
a
the time.
celebrity cricketer for Jammu. He was a celebrity cricketer.
First ball.
First ball.
So I gave a stare to the umpire like a boycott. Boycott, you can't give me out here. So,
I've come all the way.
I come all the way. So he said, not out.
Not out.
And then Raman walks up to me and says, oh, sir, what is going on? We heard a nick. So I used W.G. Gray's point. I said, all of these have come to see me bat, not to see you bowl. So that was my first interaction with Raman.
These interactions are lifelong. They are the joys of life, the vibrations, the kind of friendships that develop on the sports field and off it. But another aspect of life is music. And on the Good Vibe show, we try to interact with guests who love music. So Raman, I know that one of your songs has gone viral. So please give us a glimpse of that. And that song, I think, has been watched by all doctors of India and perhaps many in the world and others also. So एक वो वाला गा दीजिए और एक कोई और सुना दीजिए हमें थोड़ा थोड़ा.
Music has been also with me like the sports. It is part of my life, and it got rekindled during this COVID times. And because we were totally workless, nothing else to do, so we polished it more. Incidentally, one of my friends who also dabbles in music, he suggested me this song. I wasn't. I said, okay, this is very old song. Let me sing, because I love singing Mohammad Rafi songs. So he said, okay, you sing this. It will be very nice, and you will get a lot of. I'm basically singing on apps online. So he said that you will get a lot of females joining in, and you will be happy. You will have a brilliant, brilliant fame. You might get. So I just sang this up, and I just passed it off. And one of my friends, who is also a singer, a doctor, he said, Raman, let's make it a little comedy touch. Let's give it a little comedy touch, and it should sound very well. I said, okay. I thought it's just for fun. So he gave his input, and he started making it into a parody. So he made it a parody out of this beautiful song, where I am seriously singing, and he is giving a parody of a female lines. So that came very brilliantly. We laughed and enjoyed, and all our colleagues, and that's all. That's it. But suddenly we saw after 10 days, it was all over in WhatsApp and Twitter and everywhere. We don't know who leaked it actually.
Well, it doesn't matter. Now let's listen to it.
Yeah. So that song is a, you can say, nok jhonk between the lovers, and that too at night. And Devanand song. This is famous Devanand song. So this goes like, because he's trying to sleep, and this goes like this.
Yeah.
ओ आजा पंछी अकेला है, and the girl says, ओ सो जा निंदिया की बेला है. वो बोलता है आजा पंछी अकेला है. So he's alone in the room, so he's calling. So this is how it goes.
Wonderful and so well sung without music. We are coming back to you for another song in a while. But till then, I also want to get out the poetic side of Dr. Bali, because you have interest in poetry. And let's hear something.
See, I think Shairi is something which I've been interested for a very long period of time, and I've read most of the Shairs very well. Whether it would be Faiz Ahmad Faiz, or it may be Sahir Ludhianvi, or it may be Iqbal or Ghalib, these are all known for. But my favorite is Faraz, Ahmad Faraz. Ahmad Faraz is a Pakistani writer. He was a Pakistani writer, an anti-establishment writer, a revolutionary writer. His most famous poem is. So let me narrate some of the couplets of his poetry,
Sure.
and I will translate some of the Urdu words in that.
Go ahead.
Ghazal has different couplets, and couplets are not necessarily joined to each other. So I recite few of the couplets. Usne sakute shab mein bhi apna payam rakh diya. Sakute shab means dead of night. Shab is night. Sakute shab is dead of night. Payam is saying. Usne sakute shab mein bhi apna payam rakh diya. Hijr ki raat baam pe Mahe tamam rakh diya.
Wow.
Let me translate it first.
Wow.
Hijr ki raat is separation, and Baam is terrace, and Mahe tamam is full moon. You know, in the dead of night, when the beloveds are not together, and the beloved wants to send a message to her lover, and there's nothing more romantic than a full moon on a terrace.
Absolutely.
So, usne sakute shab mein bhi अपना पयाम रख दिया, हिजर की रात बाम पे माहे तमाम रख दिया. So this is one couplet.
Superb.
आमदे दोस्त की नावीद, आमदे means आने की, दोस्त is दोस्त, नावेद is news. आमदे दोस्त की नावीद कुए वफा में आम थी. कुए वफा is lovers lane.
Yeah.
You know, आपको याद होगा से फैज़ अहमद फैज़ का मुकाम फैज़ कोई राह में जचा ही नहीं, जो कुएं यार से निकले तो सुएदार तक चले, वही कुएं यार, ये कुएं वफा. आमदे दोस्त की नावीद, नावीद इज न्यूज़, कुएं वफा में आम थी. It was a common knowledge that the lover is coming, so everybody wants to who are. मैंने भी चिराग सा दिल शरेआम रख दिया. Means I also lit my small heart to invite attention, to seek attention. मैंने भी सरेआम रख दिया. कहता है कि शिद्दते, just give me a second. उसने नजर नजर में ही ऐसे हसीन सुकून कहे. सुकून are shares couplet. These days it's more relevant because you are wearing a mask, so you have to say from the eyes. सुखनवर जैसे वैसे. उसने नजर नजर में भी ऐसे हसीन सुकून कहे, मैंने तो उसके कदमों में सारा कलाम रख दिया.
क्या बात है. तो आपने किसके कदमों में सारा कलाम रखा? अभी हम थोड़ी देर में डॉक्टर नीरू बाली को भी मिलेंगे. So we will have her company for closing remarks and photograph. But lovely, बहुत सुंदर. और आप की जो versatile personality है, that is coming out. Because the way you are multi-dimensional, and that is why I also.
One more couplet of
I will come.
Like
I'll come to you. I'll come to you. So the multi-dimensional nature of society is extremely important. Anybody who is unidimensional, the life becomes routinized, colorless, and then you have nothing to go back to. So you go back to your love, your first love or your other pursuits, and then you come back to your work more charged, more energetic, and more at it.
couldn't agree with you more.
So एक और हो जाए.
तो कहता है कि देखो ये मेरे ख्वाब थे, means dreams, nobody progresses in life, and dreams depend on how much is your vision and depends on how much is your knowledge, and that is what gives you big dreams. And dreams is what, as Mr. Kalam said, that what they don't let you sleep. देखो ये मेरे ख्वाब थे, देखो ये मेरे जख्म हैं. And nobody has progressed in life unless you have setbacks in life, unless you have been hurt, you have fallen down, and you come back, and how strongly you come back. That is what defines a person. It doesn't define out how much talent you have, but defines on how you bounce back and what you learn from your mistakes or your setback. देखो ये मेरे ख्वाब थे, देखो ये मेरे जख्म हैं, मैंने तो सारा जहां बरसरे आम रख दिया. That means barsare aam means in public domain. He says, these are my dreams and these are the setbacks which I've got in life. So I put entire my life in public domain.
My life is an open book. And
One for you.
Sure.
One for you. Because when a shair speaks, there is something which is called as a matla. Matla, he uses his own, either the name or the ghazal ka matla. तो उसमें यह फराज कहता है, और फराज चाहिए तुम्हें कितनी मोहब्बतें. दिस इज फॉर यू.
Okay, thank you.
और फराज चाहिए तुम्हें कितनी मोहब्बतें, माओ ने तेरे नाम पर बच्चों के नाम रख दिए.
क्या बात है, क्या बात है. वो तो खैर हमारे से पहले भी रखते रहे, but I'll take it as a compliment. Thank you so much. Lovely, very beautiful. In fact, ये जो these vibrations which we are trying to create through this show are exactly meant for this purpose. To create that vibration in society, little by little, ripple by ripple, that people can be successful, can be driven, can be passionate, yet they are gentle, genteel, cheerful people. कोई ज़रूरी नहीं कि हम बहुत एक खड़ूस टाइप, सीरियस टाइप बन जाएं, तो तभी हम सक्सेसफुल होंगे. रमन, एक दो पैराज भी हो जाएं इस गाने में, अगले वाले में, सिर्फ एक लाइन नहीं, तो थोड़ा सा आप ले अपना.
Song which I really love to sing. It's more on life, and it was sung originally by Bhupender Singh ji. कभी किसी को मुकम्मल जहां नहीं मिलता, कभी किसी को मुकम्मल जहां नहीं मिलता, कभी ज़मीं को तो कभी आसमां नहीं मिलता. जिसे भी देखिए वो अपने आप में गुम है, जिसे भी देखिए वो अपने आप में गुम है. कहीं जुबां तो कहीं हम जुबां नहीं मिलता, कभी किसी को मुकम्मल जहां नहीं मिलता. Thank you.
How beautiful, Raman. So beautiful. In fact, this is a philosophy of life. कि मुकम्मल जहाँ नहीं मिल सकता किसी को, अगर हम समझ लें तो फिर we'll be more successful, more happy, more cheerful in life, and we will emit these good vibrations which we are talking about. So one last closing question to both of you, and then we can call it a day and then spread the cheerful word. Youngsters, I want to ask you, Dr. Bali, a young upcoming doctor today, with all the technology, all the distractions, all the pressures on him, what should he or she keep in mind? What are the one or two main things for him or her in her career looking forward?
I think first is absolutely acquiring knowledge. There is no getting away from that. And that's a constant process in our profession, at least. Every day you learn new things. new trials come up, new techniques come up. You have to be up to date with the knowledge. That is the given. So you start from there. So it's a continuous journey. The other thing is you have to understand the limitations of science. I have seen people, floundering if they start believing that I can deliver everything. So there is limitation to science. The third thing is it's a profession, and we have to dissociate it from life. It can't become your life. It can't take over your life. And your family is there, your friends are there. So there are so many things other also which need your attention and which you need to do. So you have to find a balance between your family life, your professional life, your hobbies, your traveling, your reading, and everything. So that is important. And the last thing which I would like to say, be humble, remain humble, be grounded. You will always have ups and downs in life, and team spirit, Raman mentioned about it. There's nothing better than team spirit. Individual doctor these days, those times are gone when an individual could make a difference to a life. These are times of interacting, building up a team of your own specialties, building up multi-specialty teams. So the end result is betterment of the patient. So that can only come if you are technically fully competent, you have a great team, you have great passion, but you have a balance with everything else. So that is what my suggestion to
Thank you so much. Very well said. Raman, one thing I'd like to ask you is you do so many things. How do you manage your time? What is your secret of time management?
See, actually, what I would say that whoever says that I'm too busy, I don't have time, he's a liar actually. If you intend to do something, you can definitely take out time. That is what has happened to me in my life. I have diverse areas where they are totally disconnected from each other, but I still pursue them whenever time permits. So I would suggest to youngsters and everybody that you should follow your passion. And in fact, you should do anything that gives you happiness. That's my goal. If something is not giving you happiness, leave it. It's no point doing. Even in our profession also, in medical profession, there are certain times in your life when you no longer enjoy the profession, and you just do it because it's run of the mill you have to do. So at that point you have to diversify into the area where you have more happiness. So finding time is right in your hand. It is not impossible to do anything that you love to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely rightly said. In fact, having both of you on this show has been a pleasure. You have really inspired me. I'm sure you'll inspire the listeners. All of us have gelled well. The thought process is the same. Ultimately, the goal of life is happiness. Ultimately, humility matters. So many learnings from both of you. For me, for viewers, for our audience, and put together, if the three of us can change some mindsets, can influence positively people who are looking at this show, watching this show. I think if you're watching the Good Vibes show, you will benefit, share it with others, emit these good vibes yourself. If you're youngsters, learn from the examples of seniors before you, and keep on looking out for the Good Vibes show in future as well. We have with us a very special guest now, and she's going to join us just now. And now we have with us the founder director of Ed Cosmo, Dr. Neeru Bali, who's here to present us with some brochures of Ed Cosmo, who are our supporters, partners, sponsors. And Dr. Bali, Dr. Abrol, and Dr. Neeru Bali are again an integral part of this Good Vibes show. Thank you very much for being here, and thank you, Dr. Bali.
Thank you so much. To know more about Ed Cosmo, I would love you to go through the brochures.
Thank you so much.